Good evening, guys. How's it going? It's Chris Graham here for We Love Betting. Talking stats this week, of course. It's time for Stats Chats Thursday night. This is what I do every Thursday night. We'll look at the various statistics that we have access to these days in this online world, and try and see if we can see any trends, any stats that can push us in the right direction of a winning bet this weekend. So let's go. 4 out of 5 last week. Delighted with that. Absolutely delighted with that. Thanks for the kind comments. Record views as well for the video. I've got to thank Johnny Grosmat for that. He's been really pushing the video, extremely enthusiastically, and it's much appreciated, Johnny. Thanks very much. 5 more bets this week. We'll get straight into it. I'm starting no Scottish games this week, I'm afraid. I'm devastated about that. I still want to wait 10 games before I look at trends in terms of periods of the game where teams are dominant, and there really was no any good head-to-head stuff in the SPFL this weekend. So straight on to England, straight on to the Premier League. It's Aston Villa against Spurs. And did you know Spurs have got a phenomenal record against Aston Villa? Because I didn't know, but I know now. Spurs unbeaten in 10 against Paul Lambert's side. Played 10-1, 7 drawn 3, lost 0. That's impressive, isn't it? It sure is. 2 consecutive 4-0 wins as well. The last 2 times these sides have come together. And in fact, you have to wind it right back to September the 15th, 2008 was the last time Aston Villa managed to beat Tottenham Hotspur. A 2-1 win that day, I believe, at White Hart Lane. Nigel Reo-Coker and Ashley Young, everyone's favourite footballer at the moment, scored the goals for Aston Villa that day. But Spurs, just to reiterate, unbeaten in 10 against Aston Villa. They play again Sunday at 4 p.m, of course, and Spurs hoping to maintain that phenomenal head-to-head record against Villa. Game 2, I'm going back to a format which did me extremely well last week. That's looking at particular times of the game where teams are dominant. I'm taking a look at the Notts Forest Bournemouth game in the Championship, and there's a 15-minute period in that game between the 46th and 60th minute where these sides are both prolific. They're 1 and 2 in the table in this particular time of the match in the Championship. They're prolific. Notts Forest 8 goals, Bournemouth 9 goals. No other side can come close to that. They're 1 and 2 in the table. Forest scored 4, conceded 4. Bournemouth scored 3, conceded 6. But wherever you go in the 46th, 60th minute, these sides score goals or concede goals. So Notts Forest Bournemouth, a goal between the 46th and 60th minute is what I'm looking at here, definitely. Reading against Doncaster, looking at the Championship now, and another strong head-to-head record. Reading, as you'd expect, a very dominant record against Doncaster. I thought, how can I put this in? They'll be far too short a price. They're 4-6 though, which is a lot bigger than I expected. So I'm keeping it in. Reading played 11, won 9, drawn 2, lost 0 against Doncaster. A very, very strong side. When was the last time Doncaster beat them? Well, it was September the 8th, 1984 was the last time Doncaster won. A 4-1 win that day at Reading. I believe, you might correct me here, but I believe the stadium was called Elm Park back then. I'm pretty sure it was. 1984, September the 8th, 1984. What was going on in the world at that particular time? Stevie Wonder was at number 1 with that ballad, I Just Called to Say I Love You. That was number 1. Spending its first week at the top, a mammoth spell at number 1, that particular song. And Brian Clough signed his son for Notts Forest. Nigel Clough, of course, the recently deposed Derby manager. Brian Clough signed up his 16-year-old son from a club called Heanor Town on this week. The last time Doncaster beat Reading. But Reading, 11 games unbeaten against Doncaster. Will that continue this weekend? Who knows? Game 4, strong start, I love it. Sheffield United against Port Vale. The last 8 times these sides have played each other, it's gone over. It's gone over 2.5. Bear that in mind, people. And 4 of the last 8 times, it's gone over 3.5. You're always getting goals when Sheffield United and Port Vale lock horns. And will that happen again this weekend? Over 2.5. Take a look at that, whatever you do. And game 5, the final game, it's another beauty. It's another period bet, a time of the match where two sides can't stop scoring goals, and it's the last 15 minutes. I am backing a goal between 76 and 90 minutes in the Wolves Coventry game this weekend, because both these sides have kicked off 2013-14 very, very well at this particular time of the game. Wolves, 10 goals. They've been involved with 10 goals in their matches this season. Scored 6, conceded 4. Coventry in top of the table. Wolves second in the 76th to 90th minute table. Coventry top of the table for League One. 11 goals, scored 5, conceded 6. So these sides absolutely prolific from an offensive attacking point of view and from a poor defensive point of view as well. Leaking goals, scoring goals. Both these sides, Wolves 10 goals, Coventry 11 goals. They play against each other this weekend. I think we'll see another goal in the last 15 minutes, and I'm backing that, that's for sure. That's my 5 this week on Stats Chat. Spurs dominant against Aston Villa. A goal between the 46th and 60th minute between Notts Forest and Bournemouth. Reading to maintain a strong record against Doncaster. I'm going over 2.5 on Sheffield United Port Vale, and a goal between the 76th and 90th minute in the Wolves Coventry game. See you later.